horrible take. Finnish Prime Minister Marin Sanna says, it's not right that at the same time as Russia is waging an aggressive, brutal war of aggression in Europe, Russians can live a normal life, travel in Europe, be tourists. It's not right. Take away visas from like regular Russian citizens. You know what my takes are on this. I think that's a horrible idea. Does the average Russian person, who, especially if they're like leaving the fucking country, if they're not the gopniks that actually do love exactly what Vladimir Putin is doing, and those motherfuckers are not leaving the country, what the fuck do the Russians overseas have to do with the actions that Vladimir Putin is taking on his own personal fucking time and on his own operating on his own personal interest? He said tourists, not residents. Regardless, objectively, it is unfair to innocents, but possible advantage of political pressure to Putin. Just wondering. No, dude, that shit doesn't work. Russians who leave don't support Putin is a huge assumption. Yeah, except what you're failing to consider is that first of all, it doesn't even fucking matter, because when you do that, you are inevitably saying like, oh, Russians who don't support Putin cannot leave the country. Russians who don't support Putin cannot leave the country because maybe some Russians who support Putin can. It's so weird, but I guess it's like everyone's whipping boy. If you want to remain populist, the adequate people you can attack are like obviously Russia. And it's not enough that you're shitting on Russia because, you know, everyone's shit on Russia for understandable reasons, the Russian government, that is. But then you have to shit on the Russian citizens too, which have fucking literally no say over what happens in Russia regardless. It is the best way to try to, you know, it's the best way to try and fucking instill some kind of populist rhetoric. Are the same logic American can never leave their own country because of all their war crimes? I mean, yeah, literally. Yeah, let's just put all the Russians in internment camps. Why aren't we doing that? We did that before here in America with the Japanese. Why don't we do that with the fucking Russians? We don't know. We don't know any better. Who knows? What if a Russian person might be loyal to Vladimir Putin? Ooh, you don't know that. Yeah, let's just do that. Concentration camps for all Russians, right? Great. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, let's bring back like a blood quantum too, like just to figure out exactly what percentage Russian you are. Yeah, let's isolate Russia further. I can already see your stream on Russian state news. There's a lot of Russian tourists start shit in Europe. Wait, what? Don't try to fucking justify this racist bullshit, dude. It's because a lot of Russian tourists start shit in Europe and think it's okay to make jokes about the horrors in Ukraine. Man, shut the fuck up. You are literally doing the exact same thing that racist people do about locking up undocumented immigrants. Like, oh, well, undocumented immigrants don't know how to act right. Like, we should just lock all of them. Yeah, because taking away a tourist visa is a crime against humanity. No, it is a starting point for unironic crimes against humanity. The same energy of justifying dude, what's going on? Do you guys just like fail to comprehend that this is no different than the Muslim ban? You're basically saying we're just going to do a Russian ban. Is it okay when you're doing a Russian ban? Is it because they deserve it? Like, what's going on? Random fucking Russian people deserve it? Do you not know a single Russian person? Do you not know one Russian person that you've talked to that is like, this fucking sucks? Now, I had Nadia on. A lot of leftists say she worked with the State Department, which she did, by the way. She's anti-Russia. She literally went to fucking jail multiple times for protesting Vladimir Putin. What's going on? Is it all right? She should just be purged from this country, right? EU racism is different. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. But then again, this is a largely predominantly American audience. Of course they want to fucking. Of course that's the first thing that they're gonna do. They're gonna hit the fucking. What about going after Russian oligarch assets who actually materially support the regime? Bitch, you think I give a fuck about that? That's awesome. Do that. Are you dumb? When have I don't have an issue with that at all. Yeah, take all their assets regardless. Take it regardless. Take it for fun. That's so stupid. Libs love to say how much they hate Trump and how racist the Muslim ban was, then want to do that to Russians. Yeah, literally. You forget that libs are the same people that supported the Iraq war. Anyway, that's a bad. I think that's a bad take. My U.S. friend is married to a Russian. They fled the country before the war. This would send them back to Russia, which is fucking stupid. Nah, dude. Nah, sorry. Tell your friend's husband or wife that they need to suck it up and go the fuck back to Russia. Isn't it xenophobia, not racism? They're white. Okay, xenophobia, whatever. It's bigotry, okay? Like, there's fucking Russians in this chat right now. You know what I mean? Fuck you guys, right? Don't do any mixing with them either. Don't be in the same rooms with them. You never know. They might actually sneak in some Vladimir Putin propaganda. This is the difference, though. Like, I'm fucking Turkish, so I completely understand the resentment that a foreign government can have over you for the actions that your fucking government that you oppose is taking regularly. Americans also can comprehend that if they think about it a little bit further, unless they benefit from living in the imperial core and deep down inside truly don't resent their government for fucking lasering brown children overseas. And it's not like you ever have to consider that. It's not like you ever have to carry that with you anywhere you go. The most you can do is claim you're Canadian when you go to Europe with your American passport, you fucking Amerifat pieces of shit. That's it. Oh, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. Please don't get mad at me, right? You're good. Never ask a European what their opinion is on the Roma people. They like to think they're above USA-style racism and xenophobia, but in many ways they're worse. I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, this is also a very obvious fucking hypocrisy too. Oh, this is Russian propaganda probably though. I mean, oh my God. I love how Russian athletes are supposed to answer questions about their country's war in Ukraine, but American athletes are never asked about their country's many invasions. Yes, because those are justifiable. Why are they justifiable? Because America did it. When America does that, it's okay. When Russia does it, it's not. So much so that whenever I talk about like Russia's unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine, which I've made very clear is the most idiotic, inhumane bullshit that you can conduct, okay? That you can engage in. If I compare it to America, a lot of Americans' brains break. They're like, what? Why are you? That's whataboutism. Because they're conditioned into thinking America's invasions are good and Russia's invasion is bad. But America's invasions are good. When I'm comparing it to America, I'm comparing it to the worst thing you can do, motherfucker. But they don't even understand that. I think it also has to do with where Russia invaded. Russia invaded a white country. U.S. only drones and kills little brown kids, not babushkas in Ukraine making dumplings. That too. That plays a role in it. If that's true, then why isn't Russia bringing democracy? Yeah, it's really fucked up. You know, like we did in Iraq and Afghanistan. I love that America brought in democracy to every country that it's invaded, famously. America literally absorbed the upper echelon on Nazi commanders and scientists. I mean, yeah, that's whatever. That's just par for the course. Then they're like, just ban the tourist visas and don't get that a lot of people use the tourist visas to get the fuck out of Russia and see what they can do from there. That too. You find lots of Russians don't even like Russia. Yeah, because you're talking to Russians that are not in Russia. The Russians that are usually able to leave Russia, just like the Turkish people that are able to leave Turkey, are not going to be too fond of their government. And yes, Schadenfreude, another person who is not American, is correct on this. Also, it doesn't even matter if the Russians who move here are Putin supporters. They literally have no power within their country, let alone in America or Europe. Exactly. That's besides the point, though, because right now you're not going to win a lot of favors in a fucking crowd like this when you even mention that like the pro-Putin people are also completely removed from any semblance of power because they hear pro-Putin and they fucking lose their minds. Okay, the only Russian who I know unironically listens to Jordan Peterson. I think that's a good enough reason to jail all Russians. That's real. Most Cubans hate the Cuban government energy. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, isn't it? It's a little bit more complicated than that. I hate the Turkish government. I still prefer the Turkish government to a American puppet government. I still would prefer, when stuck between a rock and a hard place, I would prefer Erdogan to maintain his regime rather than have Fethullah Gülen in a position of power. And even all of the anti-Erdogan Turks in the chat that are in Turkey right now, or even all the anti-Erdogan Turks in general worldwide would probably say the same thing. You understand? It is a little bit more nuanced than black and white. But it is, of course, impossible to comprehend if you never have to think about these things. Because you don't have to think about these things because you're in America. America has never been under attack in a similar capacity. America has never had to think about what it would be like for a larger superpower to meddle in its affairs in a way that can actually change the dynamic within your country. America is not at constant threat of like a color revolution backed by another country's, clandestine operations. America is not at threat that like other countries are going to collectively decide to shut America out from the global marketplace. There you go. You will never be able to understand this. You will never be able to comprehend it. So all I'm asking you is to take a breather and try to comprehend what it's like, what it could be like when you're like, okay, maybe things are a little bit different in other countries than the United States of America or in Western nations in general. Of course, I have a predominantly English-speaking audience, so it is really difficult because either you're from Australia, England, or the United States of America, or in some instances like Germany and shit, and Canada. So you're not going to see this. You are super far removed from that kind of threat. You're super far removed from America doing America shit to you. It's never going to happen. It's completely outside of the bounds of reason for you. Yeah, New Zealand as well. Honestly, it seems like Turkey is a huge issue with their policy, but seeing it from Greece, where I'm from, I can't tell if it's worse than being in a nation that really doesn't have autonomy. So that's why I said what I said about Zanna claiming that it's good to fucking take passports away from like Russian tourists or whatever and like shut Russians out from the rest of the world.